Hey, clip merchants, we here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I've read Bleach so many times.
some people
Like
don't get that.
I'm
Like I'm like
yeah
the manga is good. Like I did it. The manga does what it needs. Like I just certain this very specific things I'm trying to see like animated. Like I'm not pressed.
yeah. I
So
just want to see fights and like to see what's being extended upon. Like they showed the Aizen actually talking to Yuha, which they didn't have in the manga, which I think was probably a good addition. The extra fighting,
what did he say?
I think it was just a convo of like it was like a
Him trying to
minute. It
free
was just
him.
like
That part, right?
yeah, like free. Because I think it's like alluded to he's saying something, but you actually just see Aizen talking like I'm not joining you, yada yada. And I think he gives hints into Yuha's real plan early on with the convo. Because in the I think the manga, the issue with the manga with Bleach is like I think they took forever. Like I think Yuha and his goals is actually really clever. It's just like, dude, you waited way too long to like really flesh out what this guy wanted to do. Like you did it and then he died. Like
Well, you have to remember that Bleach did get that axe ending, right? So
yes.
there is
Oh,
that.
trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bring it up because there's a lot of conversation I have where I'm like, listen, I'm not necessarily saying this excuses anything, but please don't forget. Like, remember how I felt like when Simi was going hard on Reborn? I'm like, you guys forget like she had to wrap this shit up in like 9 weeks after a point. She didn't get a chance to flesh it out. Like I try to be understanding of how messy the ending can be as a result of that, because
Right.
I always felt like I got robbed with Ichigo's new form because like the way he looked to me was like a comp like was like this is how I always imagined him looking at kind of like full power mixed together. I was very excited. Then he's like almighty and it broke the shit and I'm like, oh my fuck, bro.
Yeah, like that's what I think it from what the little tidbits I've seen of like the pacing looks pretty good. I think even like just certain dialogue pieces, like even I think when Yuha first like steps down and fights Yama, I can't remember the dialogue, but I think even the way he explains what happens, it's good. Or even like this is really subtle, but in the last episode when Yuha's fighting Ichigo in the manga, remember he gets kind of just curb stomped, like literally just like kind of just bodied in like a two-step thing, and then he attacks him again, and then uh Oswald, the blonde dude, just breaks his Bankai in one hit, and you're kind of like, dude, one, how is this guy breaking Ichigo's Bankai in one hit? And he just got fodderized by Yuha. Like, this just doesn't even look remotely, like, comparable, especially when Ichigo's supposed to be super strong at this point. But in the anime they just showed, one, Ichigo was actually, like, kind of scrapping with Yuha. Got that good hit off.
So
Yuha
so
had to
so so
kind of
so
bust
yeah,
out a lot of
yeah.
moves.
Hmm.
And then this was done really, really well. They show you when Yuha's attacking Ichigo's Bankai sword, it starts to chip away. So there's actual chip marks and small cracks that appear on it while he's fighting Yuha. So when Hashwal attacks it, he's just the final stroke onto an already really battered Bankai. While in the manga, it's just like one attack just snapped it. So the
Does
way in
that
which they
come
just
across as a
played it,
change to you or how it was always supposed to be?
I guess both. I think that's how it should have been.
Okay. Because
But
I
I
would
think,
I would argue that's a retcon, personally.
yeah,
I
it's
think there's
possible.
I think there's certain things like I'm not mad at the acting, but I think there's certain things you can be like, this was probably the intended full scope of what happened, but the manga tends to be a little bit more, a little faster, a little bit more montage like sometimes. So you couldn't get all of those like minute, like the minutia of everything. So I get that. That to me seems like a deliberate change though, or maybe like this makes more sense. That's that's how it came across to me because
You
it's
think?
kind of like I'll give you two examples. And mind you, this is I know that Kubo had said with the anime he was gonna like flesh things out the way Oda blah blah yada yada. So different things. But I was very mad at Fishman Island in One Piece when Hody started to pop more mollies and started like speed blitzing Luffy on the Noah,
Yes.
because I'm like, you completely changed the context of that fight, because
Yes.
Luffy did not struggle in any capacity to beat you. Was he against the elements? Sure. Was he against time? Sure. You have to break the Noah? Sure. But you,
Hmm.
Hody, you were not a threat to anybody. honestly. Like Zoro even packed you up when he was well, Chungus, right? So that's how I took it. Then another example that I'm going to give you, I actually had a second example in my head. It's not coming to me now. Oh, not One Piece, Naruto. If I remember, don't quote me. If I'm wrong, just correct me because my memory of this might not be as good. I remember Hinata getting packed up by pain in like within a page. Like,
Yes.
but
It was
in
not
the
scrapping
anime,
it in the
she
anime.
summoned some
Yeah.
dragon fist and started. Like I'm like, that's not what happened. I don't like that because you change the context of the moment to me sometimes,
Yes.
where it's like she was so insignificant that even though she's fighting Naruto, blah blah, is like blah. Anyways, body like it's not a problem to me. Same thing with
I
Luffy
have
doing it
another
to
good
Hody. So I
example.
think you changed the context of that situation. What do you think, though?
Or even like another good example from One Piece is Luffy versus Kaido the first time.
Yes,
There's a
yes.
significant difference in the manga where Kaido's size and speed blitzes Luffy as if this is beneath him, versus in the anime where
Mhm.
Luffy does a King Kong gun, hits him, and he's muscling through and just overpowers him physically that way. That's a completely different scenario, which I did not like.
Yeah.
Because the whole point was like when we saw that, we're like, wait, Kaido can move fast?
Mm. And
No one
like
was expecting Kaido to be fast. Like, at
and
least I wasn't.
he was super like he seemed really disengaged in the manga. But like in kind
Yes,
of like in the anime, like bro, what's that scream? Like he's really into it. Like I don't know. Again, I'm
that's
personally not a fan of that. Sometimes I'm
I
like this comes across to me as an extension of what the manga was trying to portray, but we kind of got a montage version of it. But sometimes I'm like this is just
yes,
different.
that's how I take it.
Mhm.
I take it as like I don't say the manga's a bridge because it's not, but I really do feel like what we're getting now seems to be more of the intended effect because I think the context of this is like at this point, Ichigo is supposed to be one of the strongest people in the series.
Yes.
Two, Ichigo's one of the five war powers where even though the audience doesn't know at this point, Yuha already deems Ichigo as an extreme threat because of his potential. Ichigo was strong enough that he had the same effect of Yamamoto that when he came down, everybody's like, okay, we may be all right, Ichigo's here. So
Mhm.
we need to feel that as the audience of like Ichigo can actually do something. So when Ichigo's actually scrapping against Yuha, it's good. It's not like Yuha wasn't still not dominating Ichigo because he was in the fight, but
Mhm.
like they're clashing swords, they're moving around in the air. His Gesuga Tensho when catching him off guard harms him, which was in the manga, but it was kind of poorly shown in the manga.
Mhm.
But like Yuha has to pull out some moves, and Yuha has to break apart his Bankai bit by bit because I think that makes more sense because no Bankais have ever been broken. A Bankai break is revolutionary within the story. It shouldn't be easy to break a Bankai. So if the strongest person on the enemy side is hacking away at it, and then like basically second strongest guy attacks a now already battered Bankai, that makes more sense than Hashwalt just breaking Ichigo's Bankai in one strike. That didn't make sense in the manga.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Tozen did get his broken, but yeah. But it's still like they don't often happen. And I guess Ikaku's got his badly mangled, but
Renji
it's
too,
one of those
right?
things like I think this contact.
But Renji's own like a break apart, put back together kind of. But even his thing was missing segments or something, right? I
Yes,
remember,
yes.
but it wasn't his real
So
Bankai,
that's why,
anyways.
yeah. So I think the added moment with Ichigo and Yuha in the last episode was played perfectly,
Okay,
truly.
I can agree with it. I think
Uh,
this version is better. It makes more sense to me.
yeah. I think
It's
even the Yama fight, even though they didn't really add much, just like the little bit of clash before he went Bankai, I thought was like really kind of well done.
I kind of just watched the part where he kind of went Bankai. I have to watch the other parts for a little bit before
I
that.
love that moment when he goes
I'm gonna
Bankai when the
I'm gonna watch with my boy one point at some point anyways because
it's
I'm so
good.
bad at watching anime by myself. That's my problem at this point. I have to really care about something. It's one of those things that I know I'm just into and no one else cares about, or else I'm not gonna
Nah, I
I'm
feel
gonna
that.
yeah right. So because
Oh wait,
the good good
oh I was gonna say another good moment in the last episode was the OG Gote 13 were introduced.
oh not
They
Listen,
introduced the original Gote 13 and the captains. Like
no,
you see them kind of like scrap a little bit. Like
I
it's kind
remember
of like one of those like,
because
yeah,
no, I was gonna say I seen the visual and I remember this, and y'all could tell Pat I said this. He was a fuck ass nigga for this. Okay, I saw the picture and I said, oh, who are they? Like who are what are their names? And then he's like, bro, it's in the fucking tweet. And I'm like, I know they're the original Gote 13. I remember this part of the story, bro, where they were like, this nigga, you should just run around with murderers. It wasn't even like a real like organization. We just
they're
13
just
raw
thugs.
niggas, right? Okay. However, with the exception of I think Unohana that I recognized there as the first Kenpachi, I don't know their literal names. I thought the
Mm.
anime possibly had added their names and or through some light novel interview because I'm not checking for that shit. They got names. Giving me all this fucking attitude. I'm like, yo, fuck all these niggas then. Fuck them. No, I'm glad they're fucking dead. so that's
No, yeah,
my so that's my
we didn't
attitude
get their
towards
names.
them. Bitch ass
We didn't get
niggas.
their names. Yeah, we didn't
Okay?
get their names.
All right. That's all I wanted to
Uh,
know. Give me all that attitude, all
it,
that lip.
it's and it's one of those things that like you get like basically like those like you know how like, they do like those like montage like one like frame like I'm slashing fodder type shit. That's what we kind of got. But we kind of got their also faces in the anime, which is a
Mhm.
little nice addition from the manga. But what I really thought was cool was
Is
that
the
when
Zero Squad there?
Yamamoto,
No. That's I thought I saw one girl with hair and like skeleton arms like the Zero Squad bitch, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, sorry, keep going.
no, she wasn't there. But what I thought was really cool was when Yamamoto pulls up to Yuha in the flashback with the original Gote 16. His lieutenant Sasakibe pulls up from a mound of corpses behind Yuha and stabs him. And then him
Yeah.
and Yamamoto destroy, like, kill Yuha, right?
Yeah.
And to me, I think that's an addition that makes sense because then that I think ties better into why they killed Sasakibe first when they pulled up to the war because he literally backstabbed Yuha
Okay.
and Yuha had to get his lick back.
you,
So I think
you
like that
you could
addition
see some
makes
of the
sense.
maybe in hindsight and retrospect where he's like this kind of makes these moments more impactful or have them a little more
Yes,
oomph. That's a good
yes,
change. I like that. I like that.
because he's like he's strong. Because if I came back 1,000 years later, I'm definitely killing the person that backstabbed me first, 1,000%.
He said, "Yo, take his Mordecai off rip frame one. This guy." Now,
And
see me, a nigga like me, I gotta pull up personally.
they jumped him too. They had like 8 stern
See, I'm
raiders this
not
whole
doing that.
time.
I'll pull up solo with my back turned.
So
I gotta
that
be
I
symbolic and
like.
shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that though. If I was you, I would have pulled up too. Like
Mm,
I would have been like, yeah, I gotta. But I mean, you got it back in blood with everybody, really. Because that first time he pulled up on the Soul Society, they really got worked. But I think what they did with the last 2 episodes, I think the additions were. I think that's how you should do additions. Like you're not like basically overwriting everything you did in the manga, but the moments you add do give a lot more to the story.
I'm appreciative of it because there are even times where I think in Whole Cake specifically, One Piece did really good with that, with filling in the
Yeah,
gaps. Because remember, we're kind of just like, oh, Luffy and Katakuri are fighting for 8 hours. Then you just pan back. It's like this time they're still running from Big Mom. You pan back. It's like filling in that time is really good. And there was something with I think it was Bobbins, and he was looking
yeah,
for somebody who did something, but you actually saw him do detective work. Those things I think are really good.
yes, I
That
agree.
stuff works. That stuff works. So the
And
anime
it's
can be a blessing.
and you have to be careful, which I think the Bleach episode and even Wano did in some ways. They're not over dragging shit. Like I think that's the issue with Wano, and I know it's because we're close to like the manga,
Yeah.
but
They
like
gotta.
you're maybe adding some new context to things, but you're also just dragging out these moments so much more that they just seem so you're it's boring and just like, dude, this is just doing the most.
Mhm.
Which I think is the issue. But that's also like one of those things in anime. It's like I get that you're closing in on the manga, so you have to slow down. But it's just like, So it's still not being executed pretty.
Mhm. I I think the anime looks really good though. They've done a really good job. Even when I put the straw hat on, I get it at like 2160K. So it looks crispy, man.
Yeah, it looks really really good. I love the colors.
Look,
Like
I, I
I
I'm
think
I'm impressed with the general character models. That's what,
yeah,
especially from like the chest up. They're really good.
I didn't think it would be that good because from the trailers I'm like this style looks really different from most things I've seen, and I'm like I don't know how it's gonna hold up in an actual like full episode, but it
I
holds up
was worried
well.
about it in emotion personally. I thought of
Yes,
I'm like
I
it's
agree.
this looks like one of those things where like when they're just talking around and have and whatever, it's gonna look beautiful, but in motion it's gonna be I was wrong.
It's really dynamic,
Yes, it's really good. I'm trying to
and I think
remember.
they. I'll go on.
There's a certain style DC used to use that I felt had this problem. Where the character models, when they were just kind of standing around, they looked really good, but once they were moving, they looked really stiff. Like all their muscles were too big to be kind of fluid. But anyways, keep going.
DC. Trying to think when that would have been.
I'm thinking more of the new 52 stuff when I'm thinking
Oh, like the
before like
Aquaman when they first.
post Flashpoint, pretty much, and after and before no after Jesus Christ. So after
I think I kind of
Flashpoint,
agree. Yeah, yeah,
right, with
yeah.
the Throne of Atlantis and all that stuff, right?
I think
That to
even
me,
in Flashpoint.
Flashpoint to me was the first time they were kind of doing that because like it still looks very similar. But I actually think that Athon and Barry move well, and that's kind of like I guess maybe I have to rewatch that one. Maybe you're right with that, but I they had
I
like
didn't.
some of the Sam Liu stuff with like the Bruce Tim kind of like thing where like they went away from that. We're like, okay, this looks really good, but then after the Apocalypse War, I don't remember what they called it in the movies, but the Apocalypse War, um they came back with like Man of Tomorrow and Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons stuff with like the darker outlines. It looks a lot better to me in motion, and I like the character models a lot more myself.
Hmm.
Yeah, the boys in motion.
I'm trying to think.
I don't like the
What
excuse of
else?
the anime getting too close to the manga because they can make a filler arc to fix that. I guess right now, shout out to in Ishtinanti though. Who's that?
I have no idea.
Shintani, you mean? Or did you spell something on purpose? I'd rather take a break than make a filler. They can't do that. They can't do that. I finally learned through some type of contracting TV deal and slot thing why a lot of anime that are ongoing like that can't just suddenly stop and take like breaks like
Mm,
that. It's like a TV broadcasting legality type of thing in conjunction with like people are used to it. It's not just as simple as you know. All right, here's 900 episodes. We're taking a month off. They can't do that. You gotta find something to replace it. They gotta be cool with how long they're there. Blah blah blah. I don't know if it works exactly how it works over here in Canada because our broadcasting is completely owned by the government. They tell us what to watch. So we got no free will over here in Canada. Canada. That's where I live now. China really came here.
but what was I about to say? Uh, uh, I was gonna say this is like just animation in general. I actually like the direction of like 3D animation, like a lot of regards. I think it's coming along really well.
What you mean, like the 3D computer generated ones people don't like?
Yeah,
There's a lot
like
of really good ones. Since
yeah.
2013, there's been good ones. Honestly, I could show you some good ones.
I'm trying to think of which ones have done this, but even what's the proper use of how they kind of like fuse 2D and 3D? Is they have a 3D model and they overlay it with 2D images, or is it the other way around? I think they do 3D because I think it's easier to make models in 3D and cheaper,
I've heard
and
something
they
like that.
overlay with 2D designs. So I can't remember which like even just like animated movies or things I've seen that do, but they look pretty good.
Like something like
Cause I
Broly,
kind
where like it's in certain moments the it kind of goes from like I don't think it's I still don't think it's traditional key animation, like hand drawn. I still think it's digital, but it's more like the drawn style. Then sometimes when Broly and Vegeta would clash or whatever, they would like Gogeta or whatever, they would like turn 3D a little bit. I'll definitely say it's gotten better.
Yeah. Is it 2?
2.5D.
Is it
No, not
is that what
rotoscoping.
it's classified as?
Rotoscoping is completely different. That's when they put the things on your body and blah. That's different. Rotoscoping is a different technique. That I'm
Yeah.
pretty familiar with. I watched that and stop motion animation pretty intently, so I know how it works. And I'm very
Rotoscoping is
impressed with
not
stop
motion
motion.
capture, right?
I to some degree
Okay.
they put. Did you ever see like Les Fleurs du Jesus Christ, Flowers of Evil, the anime?
Nah, nah. I speak French. You can say it in French.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the flowers of evil anime, Aquinohana.
I don't think I
That's
have.
that. If you look at that, that's what rotoscoping looks like.
Okay.
And that's why I didn't watch it because it didn't capture the art style and the ambience
You
that
said
the
Le
manga
Fleur du Mal?
Les Fleurs du Mal.
Okay.
It's based off of the book The Flowers of Evil, or it takes a lot of inspiration
Mm.
from it. But you could just put Aqua no Hana, you'll find it. And if you're ever interested in stop motion, Leica Studios has a really good thing where they did Kubo and the Two
I
Strings, and that's
love
kind of how
stop
I learned about
motion.
it. Yeah, it's really interesting
It's
because it's
super
fucking
hard. I remember when I
hard.
was a
Yeah.
kid, I did like a camp. When I was a kid, I did like a camp,
Mhm.
and we did like I think it was like a week project for like a little stop motion thing. It's one of those things of like it. People just don't get like, dude. It is just a strenuous activity.
Like you gotta be dedicated or love doing that shit. Because
Yes.
like you said, I remember doing a little project on that back in the day, and I'm like, even for the little like 16 seconds we did, bro, 16 seconds has me like this. You made a 2 hour movie? Yeah, all right, man.
Gotta move that little motherfucker 150 times for like 3 seconds. Like Jesus.
You gotta move. You
That's
gotta
why
you
when
gotta
I
just
see like
adjust the eyes just by once by a little inch. I'm like, bro, I couldn't do this.
yes, that's why when I see certain stop motion that are so fluid, I'm like, yeah, you guys are doing a lot. I can only imagine. Like Coraline or like what's the Wes Anderson movies? He did Isle of Dogs, right? That's stop motion, right?
You said what? Sorry,
Isle of Dogs, that's stop motion, right? Wes Anderson?
did I see that?
I didn't see it, but I know yeah, that is Wes Anderson. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's Fantastic Mr. Fox type stop motion.
Oh, we said Mr. Fox. I think so. I'm trying to
Well, Isle
remember.
of Dogs is by the same person. They're both by Wes Anderson, I believe. Fantastic Mr. Fox is by Wes Anderson, right? Yeah, he has to be because that's his style.
I'm looking at it right now. This looks very familiar. I know there's more than like I think there's like more than one movie or one show or whatever, but I'll have to look at it again.
Mr. Fox is a really good movie. It's a very
No,
good movie.
I
Stop.
recognize I definitely recognize the character and stuff. The question is just like where in my archives in my memory am I pulling that from? I don't remember everything because like
Pretty old.
the other day I was able to remember like a lot of the Christmas movies I used to watch. So
Mm. Well, yeah, it came out in 2009, so that's 13 years
100
ago.
million years ago for me.
Oh, check the tweet I just sent you.
I can't even hear it yet. Hold on. Fucking stomping is killing me.
That shit's
Is
that
that the
shit
same nigga
really
who
is how
always
it
be doing
was.
the Sora runs and shit? And the
Yeah.
come on, deep freeze, wind, come on. Yeah, that's funny as fuck.
Uh, that was hilarious. But
Yeah.
what was this thing? Yeah, Fantastic Mr. Ross is yeah, that's good.
I will watch Golden Kamuy. I know the anime does not do a lot of things the manga does, but I have the manga for that, so like I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? So I have fun with it. I'm gonna
Did
watch it with my boy. And I've been downloading Mob Psycho. I have to make sure I watch them soon because people be posting. People, that's the one people be posting a lot. I'm like, damn, I don't want to see this. So I get off Twitter. But I'm gonna get to Mob Psycho soon, man. I'm gonna get to it
did you
soon.
Did you ever watch Kung Fu Panda 2?
No, I never got around to it. Give me time. Give me time. Because I still have a couple of movies. I still have to watch the second Sonic the Hedgehog. I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, you haven't?
And
I actually really like the movie.
no, I like the first one. That's
I
why
like
I
the
want to
first
see the
one too.
second one. I like the first one.
I like
I
the
haven't
second one.
watched two yet though.
I think two is better than the first by quite a bit. And I really like the first one
Mm.
because
CGI
Knuckles and Tails
CGI
actually
bear
pretty good in
PTSD.
this.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like
Mobley the
Knuckles
one.
in this. He's actually kind of funny. He's raw.
I'm Glam was hyping that fucking special for Frontiers. I'm sorry, guys. Frontiers wasn't moving me. It wasn't. I'm not buying it. I played it at my boy's house for like an hour. Oh, that's not. I don't want that shit. Try again, Sega. Try the fuck
I think the
again.
last Sonic game I played was Sonic Unleashed.
Sonic Mania is the last good game they made. They need to go back to Genesis at this point. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Just go back to side scrolling. You guys don't know what the fuck you're doing in 3D. No, see, I'm talking shit. I'm gonna keep talking. Well, I'm gonna stay on Sonic for a second. Honestly, I could see myself like having a decent time with the game, play it for like 10 to 16 hours. But if I have to pay full price for it, it's a fucking no. The reason that you don't hear me talk shit about like a game like Sonic Forces is because I played that shit for a free 99. I played for 4 hours and beat that game, but for free 99, that was a great experience. All they asked me for was 4 hours. I ain't mad at them. If I played this game for free, I'd probably be chilling. But if I would not pay full price for this fuck ass game. I think Donkey had everybody mad at him. Donkey was fucking right. This shit is ass. There's so much weird collision detection and there's a lot of clipping. It's the scripts are off. They'll just throw you in. Oh, it's fucking annoying, man. It's not and Sonic doesn't feel as fast as I need him to be. Listen, when I play Sonic, I'm trying to go fast. Anytime a game's like, oh, you do Sonic, he slows down, turn it off. Not interested. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to go fast, nigga. Sonic speed.
Like speed's always like I feel like the hardest like physical mechanic to put into games really well.
Mhm.
Is that the right way to say
I don't
it?
know. Maybe the 3D. I think I don't know. Whatever since Sonic with the 3D has been weird because as much as I love the Sonic Adventure games, it's got some jank. But I'm so used to them, I know how to deal with it. If that makes sense. Though I do think they're a
Hmm.
little more polished. But the problem with these games, I don't think I don't think they get enough time to polish and kind of optimize certain things. So just like to me, this was a game that I could tell like the end of it was rushed. Certain things, certain corners were cut, and I just don't understand why they don't just take the extra time to like make this shit. Just fucking delay it. But obviously they want that Christmas money. I don't respect it.
Hmm.
Nice said the werehog was his worst nightmare. Listen,
You're
the
not rocking with
daytime
Warehog?
stages were fucking incredible. I've always said that the werehog stuff was really inoffensive to me, but it didn't feel like Sonic. Like whenever I was playing, it wasn't Sonic. That's what I've always
No,
said.
that's actually because I remember playing this when I was like fucking like 9.
Mm.
And I remember even when I was 9, I was like, I wasn't like the biggest fan because like it's almost things of like it isn't Sonic because the way the combat and even structures where you're damn near Luffy the way you stretch.
Right? Sonic
It's a
Boom for the
really
street.
really weird dichotomy, but
Yeah.
I still like the concept. Like it's one of those things of like concept is cool.
All this
I don't know
considered,
if it
like I still like
works.
Sonic and the Seven Rings and Sonic and the Black Knight. So
I was in Black Knight where he gets fucking Excalibur.
yeah, those games have like unique transformations for him too that I enjoyed.
Sonic and the Black Knight is a really good intro that I really like, where he comes in the or he comes down into the new world. Like he has the fucking chili dogs in his hand, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
like bodies the enemies.
I
I
like the
think
intro
Sonic's
too,
my
where he's
guy.
flipping and flipping. Do, 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 do. Whoa, whoa. Night of the Wind. I said, hold on. Crush 40 always goes stupid. I don't care what no one tells me.
Ugh.
Sonic OST is the one thing I could always count on. So yeah, I actually have to listen to some of the other vocals and songs from Frontiers. I haven't listened to all of it, but yeah, that game's not it's not moving me. I have a surprise for everybody that might shock you, but first I gotta start with hatred. So the guys in like in the forest, like to me, the guys know like there's a guy's my what's my boy's house infamous all the time because he's got like 4 monitors. He's like teched out. He knows what he's doing. I don't. And I go there to play old game all the time. He's got like he puts a straw hat on, so to speak. So we be playing like Def Jam Fight for New York. We be playing like 64, Goemon. We been playing River City Girls, River City Zero. We could play SNES, PS1, PS2, everything, even Switch games and stuff. So actually, how I was playing some Sonic things. All right. So I was like, all right, show me, show me Violet and Scarlet, right? So he turns the game on, and with the version that he has some PC things that help optimize it, and that shit was still ugly, barren. It's a performance nightmare. I've never like I think aside from the main character, which is you, I think everything else moves in like 16 frames per second. It's not a joke. This game's not playable. Like anyone who like pushed through this is truly a Pokemon crackhead because there's no way you played an hour of that game and said, I want more of this. I'm like, fam, first of all, the tutorial takes too damn long to get through. It's like fucking 3 hours. Second of all, I'm like, this pop in is super annoying because there's things I'm not seeing, and as soon as I'm a little bit closer, it just fucking appears in front of me. Everybody around me is moving at 1 frame per second. I'm not even always moving at 30. I'm like, what is this? This is not optimized. This is not finished. This is fucking embarrassing. These guys got a billion cajillion dollars and refuse to put any effort into the games they make. You know why? Because you losers buy it every fucking time. You pre-order it, you buy it day one, and they're like, why would I try? I promise you, if I was them, I wouldn't try either. Until you guys force my hand, I would give you mid on purpose. So, Jesus fucking Christ, that game's shit. The storybook games were nice, low key. Yeah, I see. I feel that. Pokemon in the Mud as always. It's so sad because I honestly could see why some people were like, "Oh, like everything's in the open world. You don't have to go to the grass no more. You always kind of know what you're seeing, and whatnot." And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I couldn't do this, especially after Sword and Shield. You guys got me fucked up. I'm not playing this. I'm not even playing it. So, and to my shock, a lot of the most hardcore Pokemon fans that I know were even like, listen, man, nah, bro. Like, I had fun. I love Pokemon, but this is fucking ridiculous. And I'm like, y'all still gonna buy the next one though. So yeah. The only thing I heard about the God of War game that I thought was funny is that the game just tells you everything. It'll be like, jump across the ledge to get to the other side. Jump with jump button. It's like,
I will
yeah.
say,
Mhm.
at least from the gameplay I've seen, I think that's only like a beginning stage thing. They kind of like at
It's not.
least
It's
seem
not because
to.
his file was finished. He was showing me everything. His file was finished. Then I played. Then I tried to play a bit of Violet because he hadn't started Violet yet. So I was playing on his file through the tutorial. And I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. Because Miles, when it's like snowing and stuff, what do you think happens to that
Wait, I'm
frame rate?
confused. Wait, what are we talking about right now?
Are you talking about God of War?
I was talking about God of War.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was so confused. No, I was saying the over like thing of like Mimir or someone like saying like giving hints and puzzles like fizzles out
Use the sword
like
to slash
throughout
your
the game.
enemy. Type beat.
Yeah, it's only
Okay.
like more so in
Okay.
the
Okay.
beginning.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
At least from what I've seen, like later on, you don't like really hear it like on puzzles. It's more
Mm,
like I think the first world really where like you're in Svetlheim, which is like the dwarf shit. I think after that you're usually pretty good.
okay.
Thankfully. Because if
I
that
mean,
wasn't, that would
I
definitely
played
be
in like
fucking
4 years,
hell.
but yeah.
It looks really good from the
No, but
shit
like
I've seen. It looks
but
really good.
yeah, I don't. I've played every God of War game, so it is what it is. Like I'm not gonna stop
Yeah.
now because and again, I actually do think the last one from top to bottom is the best one they've made from like story,
Yes.
gameplay,
The
and
stories
graphical.
looks really
Yeah.
good. Is enjoyable in this one. Like I from what I've seen of Thor, I really like the way they do Thor.
Mm.
Uh,
You don't want Chris Hemsworth, bro. You don't want that Thor. That's the good one.
well, I want my I like lower accuracy. Okay,
I
I
need
don't
that
need.
beer gut. I need that gut. All
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I need my
right, take
because
care,
Thor
bro.
in this is like 7 feet tall.
Mhm.
strongman physique, you know how strongman physiques go.
Yep.
It's a little bit of a gut, but it's really muscle.
They
He
be doing
got
hella
it. He got his
construction with
things.
nothing else.
Yeah.
So their
I
arms
guess
are
the
strong
only
as
thing is
fuck.
I don't think he has like the belt and gloves that he has in Myths, but like that's never really ever what anything I feel like in any adaptation. But like it's cool. I like his voice actor. I like his design. I like the way he acts. Uh, raw. I
Mhm,
like most of the designs of all the gods. They're all like pretty good.
mhm. No, I just
Honestly.
said I just said that because like when I played God of War, I played it for $13 when it had like the whatever of the year edition. I'm just gonna wait for that.
Oh,
I'm
like
doing
the
that
game
with
of the year, I assume.
yeah, I'm doing that with Immortals Phoenix Rising and stuff too. Like there's a lot of those
Hmm.
things I just wait because those game like those games actually go on sale on like fucking Nintendo. So like I just gotta wait.
No, I
Cause
feel like
cause even when I
I
really
say that.
dived into Horizon, Frozen Wilds and stuff, I got it for $13. So yeah. I'm a type of person you know about me when it comes to video games, especially. I tend to judge the game by how much I paid. So the day I
That
realized
makes
this,
sense.
the day I realized this was back when I played the Platinum Legend of Korra game. It was like a canon story that took place between I think the first and second book. So I cared, and I remember people being like really hard on the game. And it's not to say that their criticisms weren't something that I could understand, but I'm like, I paid $14 for this. Relax. Like, if you paid $69.99 for this game, yes, be very upset. For $14, bro, like chill out over there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's usually how I
Okay,
am with that kind of
I
thing.
agree.
So
I
that's
think I
why
agree.
that's why I could look you in the eyes and tell you I had a blast with Sonic Forces for the 4 hours I played because I paid $0 for it. It cost me nothing but my time. I'm okay with that. If I bought that game full price, I would have fought somebody. So I don't know
No,
if
I
that's
feel that.
weird,
Like,
but that's how I am.
no, I feel you. Like recently, I never played the Bioshock games. They were on sale recently for like $10 for like all three, and the first two were remastered.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I never played them. I heard good things about them. I really enjoyed the first two. I think they really hold up.
Oh, you didn't
Uh,
like Infinite, eh? Or that was your least favorite?
I think Infinite's low key dog shit.
My least favorite is actually two. Now I'd have to
I
refresh my
love
memory.
two.
It's been a
Two's my
really,
favorite.
really, really long time. But Songbird used to scare the fuck out of me, and I like Elizabeth a lot. So maybe I'm just not
Okay.
remembering them.
I like Elizabeth. I think I haven't even finished the game. I don't know if I'm gonna finish three. I think the issue with Infinite is I think it goes far too hard into the shooter category, where I think the really interesting things about Bioshock were just completely removed.
Okay.
Where you don't have hacking. Even though I think hacking in the first game is annoying as fuck with the puzzle with the energy, the revamped version in the second game I think is really well done because it's a lot quicker and easier, and it's the sliding bar. But I think hacking is pretty essential to like the way in which the structure works. Two, the gun wheels I think are pretty vital to Bioshock in one and two. Like I like having all the guns and you can just shuffle through them. But in Infinite, you have to hold two guns at once, but you never get a good amount of ammo, so you have to always consistently pick up guns, which I think that's their way of saying, oh, do this, but then you have to upgrade these guns that you may not be using consistently, and you're not really given like a good amount of money. So it's like that annoying thing of picking upgrades, but you have 25 guns, but you can never pick a good gun. Yeah, I feel like that just causes so much just
No, you know what,
annoyance.
Miles? I think that's totally fair. Because as someone who doesn't really, I'm not a shooter guy. Like I don't care for shooters like that. My focus was not on the gameplay mechanics to that degree. As long as I can get
Yes,
through it and it was serviceable, that's kind of all I cared about. I was more interested in the story and the characters and how it ties into one and two. So I actually think that's fair. We weren't playing it for the exact same reasons in that sense.
yeah.
So that makes sense to me.
I don't even like the story that much in Infinite. I think the concept's cool, but I think just the time way in which they're doing it's kind of just
I
But I
think if
really
I played
like
it today, I'd feel that. But when I played it at the time,
yeah.
I was highly impressed because I did play it like the year it came out.
Yeah. One and two story I love though.
Hmm.
I like two
I still
more.
think one's the best, but three's probably my favorite.
I'm not mad at people when people say one's the best. I think two is good just because I think from a gameplay standpoint, I think it's the perfected method, and I think most people agree that two is better. A lot of people I don't think like two story. I like two story because it's a lot more interpersonal with like the main character because you're an actual big daddy
Mhm.
and you're trying to find your little sister. So like that entire thing of it's really personal. One, I get though, you're literally introduced to the world of Rapture.
It's
And I
completely
think they
novel too.
do it's so novel. And the way they just tie in like everything that happened. And I even think what's the word? I think the what's the fucking phrase in stories when like a switcheroo happens? The wow, I feel so stupid. What do you usually call it when like there's like a switch that happens or like something that happened that's unexpected? Like when like in storytelling?
A plot twist?
Yeah, yeah. Wow, jeez.
It's
Okay.
late, bro. It's
I think
late. We're gonna let you
I
rock.
think the plot twist with "I thank you kindly," great.
Okay.
Did not see that coming. That to me was like, okay, Fontaine, thank you kindly being brainwashing. That's probably one of like that's up there like I haven't seen this. This is really 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 good. You mix that into the gameplay so seamlessly. I never would have guessed.
Mm.
So I think the way in which they did one, yeah, like it's really hard to beat. And one's like longer than two too. But they're both one and two are really, 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 really good. I love them.
I'm
Three,
not mad at
I
that.
think three they just tried to make it too
I think it's a good trilogy, all things
normal.
considered. Yeah, in my
Yeah,
opinion, I think it's a
I
good
think the
trilogy.
concept of three, like in the sky, I really like the environment.
Mm.
Like I really like the environment of a sky city.
Yo, Somber
Uh,
scared the fuck out of me. Every time I saw that shit, I'm like, ah! It's just
yeah,
yell. Like, yo,
when I first saw
get
that
the
shit,
fuck away from me.
I was like, is that a giant mechanical bird? I was like, there's no fucking way. Like,
Shit was
but
awesome.
yeah,
Okay, so here's where I'm gonna shock the seven of you in here. I mean, maybe not a lot of people will see this, so I might be safe. All right. Well, actually, let me ask you a question. Did you ever? I remember actually. I know I've heard you talk about, it, but did you play a lot of Pokemon games growing up, or at
yeah,
some point? What's your favorite
I
one?
did. Emerald.
If you have a favorite, okay. What's the most important thing to you in the game? Is it exploring, battling? Like, what is it? What do you care about the most?
Hmm.
Or you don't have a preference? You just want a good game.
Maybe just variability on all fronts. So I guess that kind of goes with the adventure. So like a diversification of Pokemon, areas, gym leaders. Like I guess it's like the whole ensemble of like being able to actually do shit. And I think three with Emerald, like 'cause I'm trying to remember. 'Cause I think I played Fire. Was Leaf Green actually after? 'Cause I played like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. I played Leaf Green. I played Pearl, Diamond, and like Platinum. Those were like the only ones I really played. I never played like. I actually never played the Johto ones. I never played Silver or Gold, and I didn't play after. But like three, when I remember playing Emerald, like the Mach Bike and Acro Bike, 'cause I think that's when the Acro Bike at least was put in
Yeah,
there.
that shit where you got
But
the really
switching
fast one that go
between
up hills, and you got the one that bounce
yeah,
on the little tricks, like the bases and shit.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
having the bridge area, uh, I even think the areas were really really like diverse in Emerald because you had like the small desert area, you had the hot springs, the with the fourth gym leader with the cave, you had like the hills, plains, you had the ice area. Like I think it was really really diverse in like what you could do, and I just love the Pokemon like cast in Emerald a lot. Like Gen 3 is my favorite. Like I think all the starters are really really good, from Trico, Mudkip, and what's his name?
Mudkip is the greatest
And then
of
I
all
just
time.
yeah. But I think everything else just works really really well.
Okay.
Like to me that's just perfect. But yeah, that's
No, so my answer is that so if you don't know this, I filled out for the first three games. So specifically, um, did I play? I think I played blue, gold, and sapphire, not emerald. Sapphire. I filled out the entire Pokedex for those games.
wow. Okay.
right? And I'm trying to remember what generation introduced Pokemon Bank and stuff like that, where like it actually kind of became a fucking pain in the ass to somewhat transfer your party and specific Pokemon over. And then I just gave up. And I didn't. And I think now there's some Pokemon Home. You have to pay for it. I'm not doing that. See inflation prices. I'm paying for that shit. But capturing mons is something that I always like. So even if I play like Coromon or Nexamon and stuff, and if you ever see me play, you'll notice that I tend to catch everything in the area before I move on. I don't always necessarily put them on my party and evolve them, but actually filling out the inventory, the decks, whatever the case may be, is the thing that I care about the most. I didn't know Legends
Interesting.
Arceus had a literal focus on that. I don't really care about battling. It's rock paper scissors. I throw out fire guy. I use like bro. It's not fucking intuitive. It's not hard. It's fucking brain dead. I don't care. Right. So battling doesn't move me. It really doesn't. I've always cared about catching stuff. I didn't know Arceus actually focused on that. So the same day my
Yeah.
friend was showing me, he was showing me all this shit, and I was like looking at it, blah blah. I'm like, honestly, I could actually see myself at least giving this game a fucking fair chance. And his brother moved away to university and sold his Switch and got a PS5, right? So he actually still has a copy of that game. My friend lent it to me, gave it to me. So I actually have it for the freebie. It's upstairs.
Hmm.
I might give it a fair chance.
No,
It actually looks
it
interesting to
looks
me.
good. My friend actually has it, and I saw him play. I was like, and I like tested it out a bit. Like this is actually kind of cool. I actually enjoy battling a lot, but
I
I'm
heard
just
you.
a
I heard
V-head.
you don't even have to battle. You just like I'm looking at
Yes,
it.
exactly.
You
You
just
don't.
chuck Pokeballs. I'm like, oh, oh, you speak in my language. So
You can chill. You can just send your Pokemon out like in like the free world. They just be chilling, yelling at each other, doing shit. You can ride shit, fly shit. I'm like, this actually looks kind of cool. And I'm a battle merchant, so
yeah.
because
So
I'm not a
I might
Pokédex
like that
filler,
game,
which is
bros. You
interesting.
never know. I might have a good time because like that seems like catered to me. Open world. I know it's ugly as fuck, and I heard there's no like caves to find and shit like that. But it's um catching a bunch of stuff. I did see the boss battles. That's interesting, I guess. They actually like you, the actual trainer, can like die and get hurt and shit. So it's a little bit reminiscent of Kindred Fates, except Kindred Fates is a little more brutal. Where like in Kindred Fates, if your spirit like dies and you don't get its like soul in time, you actually lose it forever. So it's kind of like a built-in Nuzlocke thing automatically into the game, which I think is fucking fantastic. Plus it's more the combat from what I can tell is more like it's not turn based like that, so you have more control of what happens and everything. But yeah, in this game, like you have a dodge roll. It's like there's like actual boss fights where you the trainer are fighting the noble Pokemon, what the fuck it's called, Alpha Pokemon, some shit I can't remember. And I didn't, and I think they're called Hisui. The Hisui variants I think look kind of dope. I actually like them. I think Growlithe looks cool, and I like the Decidueye, the grass fighting type for the Decidueye or whatever. It looks cool. I don't like Typhlosion. It looks stupid. It looks like weird to me. And then what was the other
Oh
one?
yeah,
A Dark Water Samurai, I think it was. Dark Water. That one's whatever. It's inoffensive.
still I
Yeah,
still wish Samurai was bipedal, but it is what it is.
I agree with you. It just I don't know. It doesn't move me. It's one of my least favorite water type starters. That being said, the grass type in the new game is the best one. Best looking one in my opinion. And it's not even close. Like the water one turned into I guess bird um Blaziken. It's like the water version of Blaziken, so like cool. But I saw the evolution line for all of them. I actually think the grass cat looks the best in its last form. It looks really cool. I actually like it. If I played
I
it, I'd
think
pick the grass one.
the
The
one thing
fire
I
type
will say,
sorry, I think this is the worst fire type evolution I've ever seen. I'm not a fire type merchant, but I genuinely think that it looks awful. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Pokemon. The one thing I will say about Pokemon fans, I actually think they're often fan made like speculation evolutions. Usually are actually at this stage just better than whatever Pokemon actually puts out. They're just usually just better,
Did that
and
fire type last form
it's
not move
honestly
you?
not close.
I thought it was awful. Like ew. If I if I didn't know, because sometimes I don't check. and I evolve into this level 36, I start over. Start the game over. I've done it before. So, but yeah. So we'll see how I feel about that game. I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna try it on the weekend. See if I become a catching merchant. I'm trying to chuck pokeballs at niggas. And then there's still Pal World, Temtem and stuff I gotta get around to, and Kindred Fates and all that. There's a lot of Monster Tamers I gotta kind of give a try to. Monster Sanctuary I finally kind of finished. Monster Sanctuary is kind of
Which
like
one?
Metroidvania meets monster taming. So you jump around and platform and shit. It's interesting. It's cool. I liked it.
Mhm.
What did I beat recently? Recently I beat Freedom Planet. That's the last thing I beat. Freedom Planet and Shantae. I think those were the last two things I beat. Shantae and the Seven Sirens, the whatever edition. So 9 Years of Shadow got delayed, so I'm sad about that. There's about the games I'm waiting for. I'm planning to do a thing with Simi where we just show you a bunch of games that are coming out that are fucking on our radar, look really dope. So should be fun. Should be fun. What are you looking forward to playing? Anything you're looking forward to? Oh, I was about to say this. I've actually for the first time properly really played the PS5. PS5 is interesting. I might eventually get one. We'll see. We'll see. I want a Steam Deck over everything. I need a Steam Deck. So, yeah, 9 Years of Shadow is coming out in 2023. I'm pissed, but I'm low key like, kind of happy because like I have a lot to play. The problem with the mistake that I probably made was I should have bitten on a lot more games. But I'm like, I'm getting on Steam Deck. I'm getting on Steam Deck. I'm like, I gotta bite on some of these. I can't just stack these 30 games for Steam Deck. So like, Coffee Talks Episode 2, Recipes to the Creator. I'm gonna get. I bit the bullet on Shovel Knight Dig. I bought Shantae. I bought I think Windjammers too, and a couple other stuff. That I ended up just buying. Oh, Tinykins. It's Tinykins. Tinykins and Anno something mutatum, whatever, the cyberpunk looking game. So those I bit and bought on my PS4 and Switch. So guess what? Getting both that and Silk Song in the same year. Well, Silk Song is so unserious right now. Like, am I ever getting the next Hollow Knight game? Jesus fucking Christ, Team Cherry. But then again, I did say I'd rather the game come out when it's complete. So if it's not done, do not put that shit before me incomplete. Okay? So tired of this fuck ass era. I'll just patch the game after day one patch, 1 million gigabytes. Bro, what? Finish the fucking game. Hey, that's it. What are you looking for to play, Miles? If anything, I don't know. What are you there?
Uh, I don't know. Like, I just don't even check for video games like that anymore.
That's
Like
fair.
I that's not even to say I don't play because I do, but like I don't know. I don't know if there's anything like that I've seen that's like, oh, I have to fucking play. I don't know. 'Cause I feel like I found like what I've been finding is more just games I haven't played that have just been around that people like. That I've just found I'm like, oh, I actually really really like this. Because like I started Hollow Knight like earlier this year. Same with Hades, and those have been out for a while. I
Mhm.
like really love those games. Um,
I haven't actually properly completed the 80s run from start to finish. I just played with a lot of my friends.
I love Hades, even though like I feel like the gameplay is either gonna be a hit or miss with like how you like rogue games.
I don't like
The
roguelikes,
story
but I
is
love the story. I like the
story's so
characters.
good.
And
The
I, and,
story
I, and, I, and I like
and
and
the
I like
way
the
they actually
characters.
tie the story to the
Hmm.
rogue like style,
Like
I
that,
think
that
is really
again.
really
So
well done.
that like, oh, look at him again. Like I'm like, oh, I like that. Like it's like an actual thing because God reincarnate, come back out in the pit. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, so just that was really good. So
and I think it's some of the best representation of like third degree gods, and I think the styles of them are really dynamic, and even just the way like
Nagahara. Hmm.
one thing like I feel like what they do well is even like the way in which they call Zagreus, everyone calls him something differently, which I
Hmm.
think like really gives like good character to him. Like Poseidon calls him Little Hades,
Hmm.
Hermes calls him Cuzzo, uh, Athena calls him Cousin, Ares calls him like like basically like Little Destroyer or something. Like they all have different names for what they call him, and I just think it's funny. Like Zeus is like nephew, like it plays really well, I think, into their characters, and I think small things like those can often be forgotten in stories. Like I feel like nicknames just aren't like a thing really anymore, and I feel like they should be because like they're used often.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think the character direction all the time are really, really, really well done. I 100% agree. The um the other thing that I guess you said, I like when you tie game mechanics into like those kind of like story and narrative itself. So
Yes.
like those things always really go a long way for me. So I actually always appreciated that they did that. The only other game that I could think kind of did that with a roguelike, and if I remember correctly, is I think Moonlighter. That's the one where like I actually didn't play much of it because I didn't know it was a roguelike, and I'm like, oh fuck me, I'm not in the mood for this. But you're like a shopkeeper, like a video game one where like you put your wares out, but you actually personally go in the dungeon and find the items that you would give like the wandering heroes or townspeople yourself. So you're actually
Mm.
going there, you get it, and then you have to price it yourself and see how much people will buy it, how much it will sell and shit like that. Where like the random dungeonness and stuff like that, and the fact that you're a storekeeper and you never necessarily know what wares you're gonna have. I remember, if I remember correctly, that all ties into the actual story itself, and I couldn't deal with the randomness personally. So, but it was cool though. I want to give it
Oh,
credit for that.
you know what game actually does look interesting? I thought it was funny when I saw that you like had something Sea of Stars because I saw this like a few months ago.
Oh, the messenger, same universe.
It looks good. I
It
was
looks
like, because
fucking dope.
I randomly came across like a few months ago. I was like, what is this? I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool.
Did you see Chained Echoes?
No,
I'll show you that one in a sec. But yeah,
I think
those
probably
really
Sea of
good.
Stars. One of my favorite mechanics is probably the fuck, what's it like the repo system?
Mhm.
I really like the repo system. You
It
could
looks,
send out your attack and deflect and continue to do chains. I was like, oh, okay, this is
yeah.
cool.
I've always said this, right? Because I don't like turn based like that. I really don't.
I don't either.
I'm really not a fan of it. Sea Stars are going to be a banger. Yeah, I think that and Chained Echoes will be the turn based JRPGs from indie companies that I think are going to fucking take the world by storm. Um, yeah, you have to do something very interesting. And generally speaking, if you're going to look at the turn based, I like action commands. The first game that I'm wary of that I know had them was Mario and the Seven Stars, the Mario RPG, where it's like when you press A
Mm.
to jump and you're about to land on the Goomba, you press A again to do additional damage. And Mario and Luigi and stuff like that do type of things. So like at the very least, give me that. If not, I need some type of really interesting mechanic. I really do like Chris Tales, the time mechanic. I told you about it, where it's interesting. Where like you have the time crystals, the middle is always the present. To the left, I use the past. To the right, I use the future. So if you like fighting a monster and it has like a shield and it's very powerful. If I wet the shield and send them forward in time, it'll rust the shield and they'll age and possibly
Oh, okay.
get weaker. But conversely, if let's say it was like an animal that was like actually a baby and is weak as that baby and you put it forward in time, you might actually put it in its like physical maturity stage and it does more damage. So you guys actually have to like be careful for what you're doing. It's really, really fucking cool. I love it. I loved it. I had a great time. It's called Chris
Cool.
Tales. So yeah, yeah. Sea of Stars. Yeah, definitely keep an eye on that one and Chained Echoes. Look at if anybody likes like like the Mario RPGs and like I'll say Mario RPGs, the Mario Sports RPGs from back in the day, like the Game Boy ones for tennis and for golf and shit. And if you like shit like Golf Story, look at Soccer Story, bro. I'm not gonna show them now because me and Simi have a planned stream to show you all that. But take a look at Soccer Story, aka Football Fable. That's what I'm calling it, Football Fable. Um,
This
I'm so fucking
this
excited.
this was kind of like a bad example, but like yeah, another example of like kind of even the kind of action things is like Naruto Path of the Ninja, which was like this DS game of
I think I
Naruto.
remember that.
Yeah, like it's turn based, but like depending on the jutsu, like you would have to use your stylus to like complete certain
Mm,
things, like scratching it to keep like within a certain bar, or like tap certain like hand signs or draw certain things. like it keeps you super engaged the entire time.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. So I agree. Like you need like something else. I think like when I played Digimon when I was younger, they're pretty just purely turn based. But I just like Digimon enough that I think like it just doesn't bother.
I could really turn my brain off if I'm just clicking attack and it does attack for me because I might be doing something else, and like to the point that sometimes I fuck myself over because I'm not paying attention.
Yeah.
That's why there's a Paper Mario Bug Fables. I can't press an attack and look to my right on my computer. I must do the little mini game to execute my attack properly and do extra damage, which I always appreciate. So it look clean. Plus, it's on Game Pass, so I have to pay for it. But yeah, you know what I really want that's on Game Pass so fucking badly is Shredders because I love snowboarding games and the physics in that game is beautiful. Same guy that I was talking about earlier played it at his house a little bit. I'm like, fuck, I want this. I love snowboarding games. Um, if you like snowboarding racing games and stuff too, if you and you want one that's a little wacky and arcadey, look at Slope Crashers and let me know what you think of Slope Crashers. I think it's called Slope Space Crashers. So, all right, people, I am going to bed. Goodbye.